Welcome, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. It is the 22nd of June, 2021. How are we feeling today? Producer James in the building.
Feeling great.
Man, it is, we heard you've been cooking now this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the little plate that you come through with.
Yes, sir.
I don't know about y'all. If I could tell y'all what it is, y'all be mighty jealous. But, yeah, I didn't know you threw down like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love to cook, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Didn't find that out till probably within the last, 3 or 4 years or so.
Okay.
Yeah. Having to cook for the children and all that stuff. But, yeah, man, after I'm always, when I talk about running, I find myself always talking about I'm trying to get back into it. So I'm trying to get back to being consistent. But I like to go running, cool down real quick, relax, and then get in the kitchen, and
Did you run today?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Man,
I took it
fitness.
easy. Yeah. I took it easy today because I went pretty hard yesterday and it was so hot. And, I don't want to fucking pass out or anything, but took it easy today. But, just trying to get that heart pumping,
No doubt about it. I need to probably follow your lead, but with the way the weather is outside, I'd probably pump my heart out of my chest and be calling, like Fred Sanford be calling, what does he call her? I can't think of, it was like, I'm coming home. I forgot that he's his ex-wife's name. Elizabeth, I'm coming home, Elizabeth. Coming home. Football news, Lamar Jackson's mother is trying to negotiate his new contract. That'll be something we'll kind of dive into. Very awkward, interesting note. But, hey, man, I mean, Richard Sherman negotiated his contract at San Francisco, did pretty well. And what's to say Mama can't do better for her son? I don't know. We'll talk about that. The Dallas Cowboys, I keep bringing them up. My question to the show is going to be, can the Dallas Cowboys win a conference championship in the NFC going into 2021? Something we'll dive into, analyze, talk about, be realistic about. I know that Dallas Cowboy fans out there, they're going to say, of course they can do it. Dak's back, the O-line is healthy and what have you, but they're still, Dallas is great. Like Mike Greenberg said, Dallas looks great in June. Every single year they look great in June. It's October, November, December where things kind of just tend to fall off the wheels. So we'll get into that a little bit more. More news coming out. Jameis Winston, have you seen the videos of him in his practices or his workouts?
I have not.
Man, he, I don't know who he's training with, but it's an awkward kind of event. He had laser eye surgery over the summer or over the break last year. So hopefully the vision is going to be able to not allow him to throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions to the other team. So we'll see. I don't know. Jameis Winston's an odd character.
Those numbers remind me of Brett Favre. I feel like he was similar.
30 for 30?
No, not in the season, but I think overall in his career. I think he was the interception leader. I think he was pretty up there. But as far as touchdowns as well.
He's got a lot of belief in his arm, Brett did.
Yeah.
More events coming out about I took a dive today. We'll talk about this. It doesn't have to do with anything current, but the most current news is about Conor McGregor. I went in and went down a rabbit hole with Conor when Khabib beat McGregor and the following aftermath and melee that occurred after the fight was over. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. I know you're going to have some good details. I didn't remember, but we'll talk about that UFC moving forward. But let's kick things off. Lamar Jackson's mom wanted better for her son. His fifth year option is going to get picked up, no doubt about it. But I think Lamar Jackson's on the docket to be paid one of the highest quarterbacks, if not highest players in the NFL with his dual threat ability. Lamar coming out of Louisville, did win the Heisman. Awesome to see that. I didn't think we'd see the progression in his throwing motion come as quickly as it did into his second year and progressing more into his third year. But he's in that, selection of quarterbacks that we all have seen rise to the occasion. He's taken, a pretty much running team until becoming a perennial playoff contender as they kind of move forward year in and year out. Now it's time to get paid off that rookie deal. And he's going to put mom on the negotiating block to help him get to the next level. My big question is, how much guaranteed money is mama going to bring in? That's what I'm kind of curious to see. We saw what Dak got. We saw what, Watson got. Is there going to be a time where are we going to see 100 million, 120 million guaranteed for an NFL quarterback? Are we going to see 150 million guaranteed? Is this that time? I don't know. My biggest thing that I want to see for Lamar is get through this year. I don't know if a deal will get done before the season starts, just due to the fact that, it's training camp's a month away, pretty much a month away. And the season's going to begin more quickly than I think folks anticipate. But if a deal does get done, hopefully it's going to be a longer-term deal. 5 years would be a benefit, I think, for Lamar as well as the Baltimore Ravens. Folks would probably say no, that favors more of the Ravens. I just tend to disagree with that fact due to the notion that the longer you have that contract out, the more money you can probably get guaranteed up front as a lump sum, and spread those maybe bigger numbers over the back end so that when time comes, you can just renegotiate the money, move it around, probably do how Tom Brady does and say, oh, yeah, I signed this, 2-year, $75 million deal. And whenever we need to have cap space to bring in more talent, let's just restructure the money. We'll kick the can down the field or down the street, pay me a little bit of a lump sum for guaranteed, bonus up front, and then restructure the money. Pretty much what New Orleans had to do when Breeze left, and they were able to pay everybody being tens of millions of dollars over the cap. Hopefully that's the case. Dak Prescott got his deal, $160 million, 4 years, $160. I don't know, $75 million up front. Was that what that was? That's what I think he got in that 1 year.
Sounds about right.
76, I think. And I don't know. Is it quirky that? No, go ahead. What's your question?
75, 76 million. What's really the difference?
The taxes. That's the difference. Right. That's the taxes.
I guess it's something that someone in my position.
We are yet to experience those kind of difficulties. Yeah. But yeah.
Hopefully, I'll find out the difference. I'd
love to be in that situation. But is it quirky or hokey that Lamar chose his mom, or is that who he trusts the most?
Who else is going to look out for you more than mama?
No doubt. But my thing is, what if mama's not experienced enough?
True.
Because she's dealing with dudes who are, these dudes in the NFL, they're sharks. They're like, look, we're going to do everything in our best interest for the football team, not necessarily our franchise quarterback. Now, we're going to be nice to you and buddy and all that, but when it comes down to dollars and cents, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense.
Yep. It's interesting to see, where this is going to end up. I'm interested. I like Big Trust. Whoop whoop.
The little Big Trust kind of fell off last year.
Yeah.
So did Mark Ingram. Now he's with the Houston Texans.
Sophomore slump, was it?
That was his third year.
Third year. Yeah.
I think it's more of, this is what I kind of told a lot of people after the Titans beat the Ravens 2 years ago in 2019 was Vrabel was able to figure out getting Lamar to run laterally instead of north and south. And I think that was something that kind of came out of that scheme. But nonetheless, the biggest, I think, factor that we have to take into consideration is how much improved Lamar is throwing the ball from year 1 to year 3. I think that's what the biggest takeaway. Now, is he where he needs to be? No, but he won an MVP in his second year, and that can't be overlooked. And I think that's why now it's we need to get the deal done for Lamar now so they don't run into an instance that the Dallas Cowboys had with Dak Prescott, when you should have signed him after the third year, but you didn't and waited till the fourth, or didn't do the fifth, and now going into his 6th year, you finally get the deal done with him coming off a catastrophic injury. So it's kind of could the Baltimore Ravens keep him for the next 3 years under contract, but have a disgruntled player? You better believe it. They could let him go through year 3. They could franchise him in 4, and then they could franchise him the second time in year 5. If they really wanted to extend it out, it could go 7 years. But it's what do they want to do? The smart thing is to pay your franchise quarterback now, so as the cap increases, you can start putting in more money towards players that are going to help you go win championships. You're going to probably need to do that with some of your defensive players moving on to the next team as Judon did with New Orleans.
You got a comment here from Lion Pride Sports Broadcast. Mama knows best.
Sarge, you better believe it. Shout out to the Sarge with Lion Pride Sports Broadcast. Big news. They have news. I'm not gonna break your news, Sarge. I'm gonna let you do it on your platforms. But y'all go check out Emilio the Sarge Juarez on Lion Pride Sports Broadcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And he's got some big news he's going to be sharing with, and they're doing big things over there. So happy to see y'all having success. Good on y'all. Does mama know best? Does mama know best when you're sick? Yeah. Does mama know best when you got a broken heart? You better believe it. But is mama going to know best when these accountants and GMs are throwing around numbers that, how are you going to forecast numbers 5 years ahead, 4 years ahead? And we're talking about multi-millions.
Yeah.
No disrespect to mama. Mama, I don't know mama's credentials. I don't know Mama Jackson's credentials. But what I do know is is Mama Jackson tough? I believe so. I believe she is. But at the same time, it's like, I hope that there's somebody in there helping her out.
She negotiated his rookie contract.
I don't know.
I think that's what I read a while ago.
Read?
Yeah, that she negotiated.
The thing about the rookie contracts, especially after, I think 2012, after Sam Bradford was drafted, I can't remember what year that was, but all the contracts basically got preset depending on where you were drafted and what position you played. So if you were a quarterback and you got drafted, like we just saw in an instance with the receivers at Alabama with Jalen Reagor and with Devontae Smith. Like, there was a difference of a few draft spots, and it was a difference in a couple of $1 million. So it just depends on where you're going to be drafted. You're almost preset. It's not guaranteed, but it's pretty likely, like, you're going to know what you're going to make as a rookie compared to before when you were like, I don't know, if you were AJ Hawk, you were, a fifth round or a number one, first round, fifth overall pick, and you're going to make, $45 million for sure, just because that's the way people paid money back then.
Yeah.
It's just a different world now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Best of luck. I hope Lamar gets the money he wants. And the thing about it is I hope he gets the money up front. It's like, get as much guaranteed money, like fully guaranteed, not guaranteed with, escalators. It's like, no, I want 115, 120 million guaranteed. As soon as I sign this dotted line, the ACH transfer comes in tomorrow.
Yeah.
That kind of guarantee.
Yeah, Lamar, make sure you get that, man, because, as like I'm experiencing with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers, nothing's guaranteed, man. Nothing's guaranteed.
I mean, it's a train wreck right now. Go, Jordan, go. That's all I can say is go, Jordan, go. Right now, until Aaron wants to show his mug around Green Bay. You think the Packers are? Do you think Packer fans locally are going to be like extremely excited to have him there, or are they going to be like, "Oh, this guy's back now. He wants to be on the team. Now he wants to be with us." Or do you think they're going to be like overjoyed?
I think they'll accept him if he comes back at any. Of course, like you speculated that he'll return after they might, play the first 5 games and not, maybe go like 1-4. That he might come in, like fucking Luke Skywalker on the Mandalorian and save the day. But you haven't seen the Mandalorian?
Would they call? Do you think they would call him the prodigal son?
Probably.
The prodigal son has returned.
Yeah, there's got to be a news source that would do that. But, I mean, as long as he's there to play football, they're going to accept him. Come on, man. He's Aaron Rodgers, bro.
Oh, well.
I think so. I'll do my research. I'll get on Twitter, see what folks from Green Bay are saying.
I just don't know if they – the only reason I have that reservation is Mark Murphy says the local fans are not as excited as other fans. I'm like, okay. Like, that's what you say, Mark. I mean, how do we – I don't live in Wisconsin. I don't know.
It's like, what are you, their spokesperson?
It's like, are you the voice of the people? Are you reverberating the voice of the Green Bay Packer Wisconsin fans through your newsletter weekly? I doubt it. It's like saying Jerry Jones goes on his radio show and Stephen Jones goes on his radio show. It's like, we're the voice of the Dallas Cowboys. Like, well, yes and no. You're the voice of the Dallas Cowboys franchise.
Yeah.
But for the fans, this is a different story.
Yeah, for an
it's
offense.
just they've been smart enough to brainwash all of them to just say, Dallas Cowboys forever. It's the Dallas Cowboys. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, obviously not all of them, right?
Listen, there's just a difference. It's
It kind of makes me mad that you don't act like the typical Dallas Cowboys fan.
Why
sometimes.
does it bother you?
Sometimes. I said sometimes.
But why do you have that?
Because I feel like the majority of them are just like, they're ignorant. They're just like,
they're just blind.
Yeah.
They're blinded by that blue and silver and the star on the side of the head, and they still remember. They're still reliving Tom Landry days with Roger Staubach. They're still reliving days with Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson, and Michael Irvin going deep and being the playmaker. And ain't nobody reliving no Tony Romo days. I know that much. They're reliving that Tony Romo muffling that snap in Seattle. And then him holding there. See, that's what it is. It's full circle. The boo-hooing, boo-hoo, Dak Prescott got hurt. And then you had Tony Romo 15 years before, boo-hoo, in his helmet.
Dude.
Brian is crying his eyes out.
He thought he had it right.
He should have had it. You know the crazy thing is, he was the holder the whole year. It's like, oh, Tony, now you got to play football. You forget how to hold.
That's what makes it worse, dude. I'm like, dude,
and they would have went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And
that was a playoff game, wasn't it? I thought that was the first round.
Was it a playoff?
I think it was the first round.
And then he tried to run like you're gonna beat the DBs off the corner that are gonna.
He almost did, dude. I think he thought he did, and then it was like, oh, and like the way it happened too, like
it's that Eastern Illinois speed right there. He's like, oh, that Eastern Illinois. Oh no, you got caught by somebody from Miami. Miami the U. Give me a break, Tony Romo. It's not even his real name.
Quick little story. Over the weekend we had this couple come in, and it was a couple. So the dude was like decked out in Alabama gear, like hat and a shirt.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, and the lady was just average, but I was like, hey, what's up? I was like, y'all from Alabama, or y'all just? And she's like, well, my husband's from Alabama, and he's like, yeah, I moved here 20 years ago. And I was like, oh, okay, you still held on to your faiths or whatever. And he's like, yeah, blah blah blah. And then he's like, oh, you're a fan of any teams around here? And I was like, yeah, I'm a UT fan, man. Like I'm not really too into it. And he's like, oh, any connections to UT, or you're just a fan?
Here we go.
Basically, he was like, are you just following the fucking sheep or what? But I was like, no, my brother graduated from UT, and he's like, oh, okay. And I was like,
respect on my name.
Yeah. But I was like, we've seen brighter days, but, hoping to return. That lady was like, yeah, Sharkeishan and all of this shit. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, hopefully it works out. And then they're walking off, and she's like, but, until then, we're still number one.
As long as Nick Saban is the coach at Alabama, roll Tide.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
like,
a good story.
Yeah.
They'd be telling put some respect on your name. Oh. My brother paid tuition. They're maybe still paying. I don't know. I don't know your business, Joseph. That ain't my business. I'm still paying too, my brother. We all still paying. Let's get into a break real quick, and then all you Dallas Cowboy fans, y'all are gonna love me when we come back. 8:23 after the hour. Stephen A had some funny stuff to say too. We'll get into that when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show coming out of Studio 44. Let's get into the Dallas Cowboys. It is that time of year again where the Dallas Cowboy faithful and those in the sports media are saying how good Dallas looks on paper. And in fact, they do look pretty good on paper. I think that they're going to have anywhere between 12 to 10 wins. The real question I think we need to ask ourselves, and we need to be a little bit more pragmatic about this, is will the Dallas Cowboys in the 2021 football season compete and win a conference title? I think it's almost a given due to the fact that Dallas having the best quarterback in the division will indeed give them a improved defensive squad with Dan Quinn coming in and them having the ability to lock up the NFC East title in the division. I think that's kind of how we see things going. The other closest competition is probably Fitzmagic in Washington. Potentially. They got a great defensive line in Washington, no doubt about it. But at the same time, I think with the resurging offensive line in Dallas, a healthy Zeke Elliott, a healthy Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons being able to lead the defense on the other side of the ball, and Dan Quinn be able to mold the young recruit or young draftees that Dallas had, I think really puts them in opportunity to be a middle-of-the-pack defense and an elite offense. Top 2 or 3 in offense in the NFC, which means there's going to be a lot of points scored, but there's probably going to be about 17 to 28 points scored per week are allowed by the defense. With that being said, we're probably going to see very exciting games. The thing about it is it's going to be one of those things where Dallas is probably going to come back with a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and they're going to win by 10. Maybe they'll win by 17. And so you're going to have scores like 35 to 21, 34 to 17. You're going to have scores just like that. And it's going to be dramatic. And a lot of those, if you're one of those fans where if the Dallas Cowboys loss ruins your week, you're going to be on edge every week, week in and week out, because it's going to be tight going into the fourth quarter. And I know that's hard for a lot of folks. I understand. But those are going to be the types of games where Dallas is going to be a bend but don't break defense. Last year they were a bend and break defense. And now with the healthy Dak Prescott, they'll be able to compete with points back to back points. So what does that say?
Dude, Dallas Cowboys loss ruins your week. You might need a therapist, man.
Well, it's just like if the Green Bay Packers lose, it ruins most people's week who are Green Bay Packers fans. I don't want to name any names, but I think they're in the building. And I'm not a Packers fan.
Dude.
You just haven't, listen, just a quick side note. You don't know what it's like to lose week in and week out as a football fan. That's why it's easy for you to pass that buck and say, if the Dallas Cowboys loss ruins your week, you may need a therapist. Well, if Ryan Rodgers doesn't come back next year, I don't want to see you moping around, because we're just going to pull that audio clip.
No. The question is, are you paying for my therapist?
No, that is a personal matter due to the fact that this was an external incident that caused your grief. This wasn't an on-site complaint that caused your grief.
Dude, straight up, honestly, like in the playoffs, like this last playoffs, like my girl, like she gets like everything I think, like I spit out to her, but I was telling her, I was like, dude, it feels like this is the year, right? And I had told her, I was like, dude, if we lose, just give me like some time to cool off, and I'll be all right. And then we have other, like, you know, she's a Cowboys fan. Okay. You know, some kids are Cowboys fans as well. Some of them, I'm like, dude, respect, man. Like, don't be over here, like, rubbing shit in my face, dude. I'm liable to.
Well, then don't be rubbing your W's in their face in the regular season.
I don't. I'm just like, and then I'm done.
Do you maybe do a little McConaughey chest bump a little more often than you think?
I'm going to go get my drum, and I'm out there like McConaughey.
I'm just saying, these little passive-aggressive keychain whips with your lanyard coming out. Every time you crank that car, I know those little Cowboy fans in the backseat can be like, those damn Green Bay Packers. He's always flexing on us after every W. See, after you taking them to school, they have to see that Green Bay Packers. Whenever you got the Funkos out, they got to see the Green Bay Packers. Whenever you got the Saturday or Sunday jersey on, they got to see them Packers. And you know what that says is all that damage to those little youngins, Cowboy fans. But don't you despair. You young Cowboy fans, don't you despair. Your time is coming. For all of those who were born after 2010 or before 2010, before 2000, get ready to relive the glory days.
Yeah. You know what I tell them? They're coming. I tell them, and I've told this to my girl, and I tell the kids that are Cowboys fans too. I'm like, dude, don't ever switch. Don't ever switch. I was like, it's
why?
tough.
Why?
Because and this is what I believe. I'm like, don't ever switch. Like, it'll come eventually, and it'll be that much greater. Like, don't be a bandwagoner. Don't, like, change anything. Like, if you're a true Cowboys fan, then stick to that.
Tell that to the Houston Texans. Tell that to the Houston Oilers.
Jason, where you at, Jason?
Tell that to the Cleveland Browns when they went to Baltimore. Tell that to the Baltimore Colts when they went to Indianapolis. You can't sit here and tell these people you can't switch. That is your right as an American. You can switch to any football team you see fit. Because in the end, we always can't control how the owners run their teams. Isn't that right, Mr. Jerry Jones?
But what I'm saying is, because your team is just losing so much. Like, one of the kiddos, he literally said, he was like, we never win. He was like, Dallas Cowboys, we never win.
That's not true. They just don't win consistently. They're always
as long as he's been alive.
They're always 8-8. They're always even. They're not losing and they're not winning. They're 8-8. Now, I find it interesting that you're bringing all of this. You might need the therapy. I find it you don't switch teams. I find it very interesting that you're saying, don't worry about losing. Your time will come. It'll come around eventually. Well, Mr. Packers fan, you've been fortunate in your lifetime to have back-to-back Pro Bowl, All-Pro, Hall of Fame quarterbacks at the helm of your football team. And you've witnessed 2 Super Bowls in your lifetime. Dallas Cowboy fans who are over the age of 35, we've seen 3 Super Bowls in our lifetime. And if you're over the age of 45, you've probably seen 5 Super Bowls in your lifetime. Definitely over 45. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, you better. I don't know what you blowing over there because it's been 11 years since your last one. So don't get too carried away.
It ain't been 25.
And you know what? You came up a little short 2 years in a row. A little short 2 years in a row.
I'm not used to hearing that.
And so what I'm telling, hey, that's what I'm saying. You talked about all those bad times. Well, bad times, baby. Like the Dusty Rhodes American Dream says, some hard times only last for so long. And all you Dallas Cowboy fans out there, baby, they're going to be coming short to us in the near future. But all you Packers fans out there, y'all better get ready because the likes of Aaron Rodgers have been replaced by the kind of Jordan Love. And the way minicamp went, Jordan Love didn't really look so hot.
What? Let me ask you something. What if Jordan Love just ends up balling out? Let's just say.
How many games did Jordan Love play in college?
That's not what I asked.
33 games.
That's not what I asked.
Jordan Love is not a prospect that deserved to be drafted in the first round. I don't give a shit if he was drafted in the 20s. Jordan Love is a third-round grade product, and Gutekunst wanted to be prepared with the best project who was close to Mahomes as possible after Mahomes did his things the past 2 years. And Gutekunst bet the farm and lost Aaron Rodgers.
So what you're telling me is that Jordan Love he's just not it. He's just not the guy. And he won't ever be. Is that what you're telling me?
If Jordan Love can have if Jordan Love would have fit, it really starts with Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers would have handled his business the way management wanted him to, Murphy and little Goot, if he would have wrote out his contract to 40, that means in 4 years developing Jordan Love, he would be ready to replace Rodgers. So what you're telling me was we didn't bet the farm to get Jordan Love to replace Rodgers in year 2 or year 3. You bet the farm to replace Jordan Love you replace Rodgers with Jordan Love in year 4 because you knew what his production was in college. And I don't know how he went from Dallas to Aaron Rodgers. We went from year 33 W's, 33 games in college to being the first round draft pick and him not being prepared when every year
trading up for him.
When every year the patience that teams have for first-round quarterbacks is minuscule. Minuscule. There is a open quarterback competition in New England right now, and the backup quarterback, the rookie quarterback was drafted, he's wearing number 50. And he's competing with the ex-MVP winner in Cam Newton. Played in the Super Bowl. Why are we giving patience to Jordan Love when he was drafted in the first round? Why?
That is true. When you put it like that, I get what you're saying totally.
We have quarterbacks. You have quarterbacks who are Trey Lance is going to start in San Francisco.
But I feel like that's where like
Carson Wentz started in Philadelphia when he was drafted.
Like based on that, like what you said, because if you draft a quarterback in the first round,
Baker Mayfield started at Cleveland.
So when you draft a quarterback in the first round, don't you expect them to produce like
they should be able to start week 1, game 1 of the season they were drafted into?
Okay.
Yes.
And I feel like that's where the drama started. Am I wrong?
No.
Because you want him a 4-year project, but you moved up to draft him, but now, like if that was your plan to have him as a 4-year project, well, then why didn't you make sure that your existing quarterback was going to be there for the fucking 4 years?
Because they didn't believe it was a need-to-know basis for Aaron. They didn't believe that. You want to know who did believe that? Bruce Arians in Tampa Bay. They called up Tom and said, hey, Tom, we really like this kid out of Florida. Kyle Trask did really good in his time at Florida. We're thinking about drafting him so we can develop him. And whenever you're ready, Tom, it's all about you. Whenever you're ready to leave or retire, because we're not letting you go, Tom.
Yeah.
We just want the kid to learn from you and learn how to be a pro. And Tom, whenever you're ready to ride off in the sunset with 10 rings, then we'll put him back there. But we want to make sure we give you a heads up. We're going to draft this kid out of Florida.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, and I feel like I know the answer to it, but I just want to hear your opinion on it. At what point do you bring the player, and it's always going to be a quarterback, do you bring a player and be like, hey, man, step into the front office?
What type of quarterback?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
That's your question.
At what point is it, do you be like, because the front office is the front office. At what point do you bring the quarterback and be like, hey, man, let's talk about future decisions,
In my opinion, if I were playing general manager, that's going to be a quarterback that, one, is a perennial Pro Bowler, an All-Pro. That means every year they're going and being selected to All-Pro status or Pro Bowl status. They've won Super Bowl or Super Bowls. They have the ability to make undrafted rookie free agents into successful players. Be that at running back, be that at receiver. Those types of quarterbacks who can change your personnel and raise the level of play from everybody else on the team are the types of players you're going to bring in. How many of them are in the NFL right now? Probably 4. Maybe it's 3 or 4. It's Tom, it's Aaron, it's Russell Wilson, maybe Big Ben, just because he's been there so long and he's won 2 Super Bowls and he's consistently in the playoffs and he makes people around him better when he's fully healthy. And they were undefeated last year until week 12. Dallas almost beat them. Washington almost beat them. Big Ben, I think the reason the Pittsburgh Steelers fell off was due to the fact that Ben's fatigue in his arm came full circle. There's only a few. There's not a lot. There's not a lot.
Shit, they had been Big Ben throwing like fucking what? Like
so what?
40 times a damn game?
So what?
But that's
the game.
Yeah. That's what I feel like that's what he does, Big Ben.
That's the game.
Yeah, true. All right, Paul.
All right, I got on my high horse there for a little bit.
Fuck, dude. Let's take a break. I'm going to pat you down. Fucking get that sweat off you.
46 minutes after the hour. Dallas Cowboy fans, y'all stay true. Even Stephen A. Smith was giving the Cowboys a lot of kudos. That just lets y'all know how well this team is well put together. All Dallas has to be is middle of the road on defense. Just be 16. Be ranked 16th in defense. Dak Prescott will take care of the rest. I promise you. Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, they are going to come out in a block party. Just you wait. Zeke Elliott, hold the ball, son. Just hold the ball. All right, we'll be back 47 minutes after the hour. We'll be back. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Paul Rodriguez Show. It is July. No, it's June. I don't know why I keep messing that up.
Fuck, man. Trying to jump forward.
I think because we're gonna be off next week, and so I think I'm ready just to be like getting a break, getting a little just like I don't know, maybe go swim in a pool, go find a river, go float a little bit, go do something.
Do you go watch the fireworks here in town that they provide?
No, man. You want to know something funny though?
Yeah.
I forgot it was New Year's. No. Last year I forgot it was July 4th. So like I'm sitting in my living room and the folks across the street, I'm not telling y'all exactly where I live, but across the street there's a huge field. And some of the people who live in the subdivision across the way, they'll sneak out of their subdivision and they'll go and light fireworks in that field. Well, I forgot it was July 4th.
Uh-oh.
And all I hear is, ta, 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 ta. And I'm like, holy like, what's going on? And then I'm like, it's July 4th, Paul, moron. I was just like, oh, yeah, right, it's July 4th. I'm all like running to go get, protection.
How's a guy like you that, you got the American flag behind you? How does a guy like you forget that it's 4th of July?
I've been sipping and drinking and listening.
People say I got a drink problem.
That's not bad, Midland. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's a good band, too. I like Midland. Are you a big concert guy or no?
Yes.
You're a big concert guy?
Yeah, I love concerts, man. We're looking to get back to we have 2 concerts that we posted that we purchased.
They were postponed.
Yes, because of COVID. And one of them was like, it was like borderline. And I talked with my girl and I was like, dude, it was in Houston at the House of Blues. And I was like, dude, and it was right when like shit was starting to like
shut down,
really hit. And I was like, I talked to her and I was like, dude, if they're still going to have it, I think we might just go. Fuck it, man. But of course, a week before they shut it down.
Listen, no mas.
Yeah.
Pull that Roberto Duran.
Yeah, but we got one. I think it's in August this year. It's Circuit of the Americas.
Okay.
It's Megadeth. This band I listen to. Yeah, Lamb of God. Yeah. True. That's the kind of music I'm into.
I'm gonna take you to church, boy. Put that holy water in your veins. Good Lord. What you listen to? Megadeth, Lamb of God. It's like, geez, boy, I gotta take him to church, Bobby. I'm just kidding. Okay. What UFC match was that? Khabib versus McGregor. It was a couple of years ago. I have to say it was like 230 something. So apparently that was a huge hyped fight. McGregor, of course, doing his nonsense.
229.
So I was close. 229. Okay. So, of course, we all remember the outcome. I did not remember, number one, Conor getting viciously mauled by Khabib. And then Khabib, like, literally talking shit to him while he's, like, choking the life out of McGregor. He's like, let's talk now. Let's talk now. You want to talk? Let's talk now. In McGregor's area, in Khabib's Dagestan accent. What caused Khabib to be so pissed off at McGregor's camp that after he got done literally choking out McGregor, getting up, the referee having to restrain Khabib, and as soon as Khabib walks away, he takes his mouthpiece out and throws it at Conor's camp. Granted, the octagon stopped the mouthpiece. And then a melee begins to incur or go on when Khabib jumps the fence and jumps on Conor's team. What did it all stem from?
Okay, so McGregor is known to be just totally outlandish in his promotions of fight, I would say, like
cerebral warfare is what he's good at.
He's done it to Jose Aldo. He's done it to this, Khabib. The match with them was certainly impending. It was going to happen. So in order to understand all of this stuff, we have to rewind the tape all the way back to UFC 223, which,
oh, shit.
Yeah. UFC 223. So what he did was he invaded the press conference.
Who did this?
Conor McGregor.
Okay.
And he was looking for Khabib. I forget what year. It was the year, like, obviously around the time all of that was happening. So him and his crew run in. They got through the back door. This is no lie. They got through the back door.
This is Conor and his
Conor
crew.
McGregor and his crew. They got through the back door and they surrounded the bus that Khabib was in. The Conor McGregor had a dolly. He threw it at the bus, broke a windshield. This fighter, Ray Borg, who was scheduled to fight, he sustained injuries to his eye from that glass. Rose Namajunas was on that bus also, and she said that she was like traumatized. I'm not in her position, but whatever.
She was unsuspecting that she didn't know who it was causing the attack.
Yeah, Khabib was there as well, but he was like, like, what the fuck is going on? Nobody knew what the fuck is going on, But he went there with it was like black sweatpants, black hoodie. And
this is Conor.
Like ambushed the bus, yeah. So,
but why did he? But what was the motivation for Conor and his crew to do this? Just to fuck with him? Just to fuck with Khabib's brain?
I think so. Just because there was a lot of back and forth going on. Khabib was fighting. Man, who was? Let me look up UFC 223. Who exactly?
So that's Khabib's main fight at 223.
Yeah.
And Conor was able to get through security.
He was fighting Alec Quinta. Yeah, and Rose was fighting Joanna Jędrzejczyk, which she beat her decision. When did that happen? I didn't know that she had beat her before because that one wasn't for the belt. But she was fighting that weekend. Let's see who else was fighting. So, anyways, it stemmed from all of that. He's like, I'm going to get you, blah, 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 and all of that stuff. Well, leading up to the fight, there was that was Rose Namajunas and Joanna too. So Rose had beat her, knocked her out, and won the championship. And so they did it like they awarded Joanna since she was the champion for so long.
So because of this impending fight that Conor knew him and Khabib would eventually meet, he begins the campaign for 229 in this instance.
Yeah.
By having this, was there a real attack, or was it a pseudo attack that was like approved by the UFC? Has that ever come out?
No, I don't think that has ever came out. But that dude Ray Borg, I know that he sustained like serious injuries. Like he was like never gonna fight again, possibly.
Like career ending.
Yeah, and like some fighters came through to support him, because he has a son that's like sick and all of that, and he actually, he was the breadwinner for all of that. I forgot who the fighter was. That so here's the story right here. Let me read it to you real quick.
And what is this story about?
Let me take it off. It's about the eye injuries that Ray Borg sustained from that attack from Conor McGregor. Let me bring it up.
And Ray Borg was inside the van or the bus?
So Conor McGregor, dude, he threw a dolly through like the windshield, and there was like glass, that busted. So here we go. It says, after the lightweight champion attacked a bus at Barclays Center following media day for UFC 222, along with a group of other people with him, a total of 3 fights have been removed for the event. Ray Borg will miss his flyweight bout against Brandon Romero, a Borg team member told. Borg late today headed to the hospital because he was having difficulty opening his eyes from what he believed to be pieces of glass from the window McGregor broke out of the fighter and crew bus by throwing a dolly into it.
Okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to fight this dude. No, that was Chiesa and Pettis fight. Yeah. So, anyways, dude, like it was just totally out of line.
So, what happened after this incident with the bus? What's the next big event?
There was some. They were talking about like criminal charges. He was slapped on the wrist. He turned himself in. He was like arrested. He turned himself in
to NYPD. I remember that.
And they slapped him on the wrist. But
so after the next thing is the next big event, the fight?
Yeah. No. Let me see. I need to pull this up. Okay, real quick. Give me some time. What made you head down?
Because I was going down my rabbit hole on YouTube, and I think I've watched enough of what the algorithm wants me to, and it put in front of me a McGregor. It put in front of me a Khabib Reebok Moscow. a Reebok Russia commercial. And it's basically Khabib in Dagestan. And then that led to another video with Joe Rogan talking to somebody about Khabib. And then the big melee video popped up. And I was like, when did this happen? Because, oh, you know what it was? I'm wrong. That's not what happened. Those videos occurred, but I was on Instagram and I was rolling through Reels, and Khabib was like freaking out in the octagon and pissed off and saying like, no, like, where's my belt? Where's my belt? Like, I'm leaving. Where's my belt? And so I started researching like, when did Khabib like get disqualified or leave or lose? And so then I went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. So the bus attack was on April 5th. Oh, I guess that's what they're reporting. April 5th, 2018, the bus attack.
Okay.
So the next event after that, Nurmagomedov wins the undisputed title. McGregor stripped, and Nurmagomedov.
But he knew that. McGregor knew he was going to be stripped.
Yeah. He receives a slap on the wrist July 26, 2018. So then August 3rd, which is April, May, June, July, August, 4 months after the bus incident, Nurmagomedov versus McGregor officially announced for UFC 229.
Okay, so then the next big event is the fight.
Yes.
And so I'm pretty sure Conor McGregor was doing his usual bullshit with talking mad amounts of shit to Khabib during the lead up to the fight and all the press conferences and the weigh-ins and the face-offs and what have you. But it still doesn't, I guess Khabib just felt offended based off of all of Conor's antics to where he went this far. Or am I missing something?
No, he was talking about his religion, dude. Like, because Khabib's a Muslim, and he was talking about his religion. He was talking about his manager, that dude, God, what's his name? Abdel Al-Aziz or some shit. Which is like, dude, there's a rabbit hole if you look into that dude. Let me find his. I gotta find his name.
Let's keep it here. Let's keep going down this timeline. And we'll find that other one at the end. I just don't want to get distracted.
Here we go.
No, we don't want to buy ads.
I know. How do I get rid of
Try corner. No. Corner of that box. Maybe we're screwed.
It's looking like it. Yeah, I want to. Okay, on to the next site.
So, I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, because Conor offended Khabib, did he talk about his family or anything?
Yes, his family.
What did he say?
That's something. Yeah, but for sure his religion, and then he was talking about his manager, Abdul Al-Aziz.
So Conor just went full nuke on everybody in Khabib's camp.
Yeah, he did,
including his religion.
There's some stuff between that dude Al-Aziz. Mm-hmm. If you look that up, it's disputed, but he's.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
There's some just shady
like
stuff,
what?
like he's possibly like funded terrorism and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because he's a dude from over there, in the Middle East.
Right, that's where Dagestan is close to the Middle East. But
he's also a manager for a lot of fighters that currently fight in the UFC today as well. He's like a manager, but he also, like, I wouldn't fuck with him. Like he looks like he could throw down,
Yeah. But, a lot of those dudes over there seem to be well-rounded fighters.
Yeah, but yeah, and so anyways, and then you have Dylan Dennis, who is like Conor McGregor's like close homeboy, who also like he doesn't really he does compete in MMA, but he's more of a jiu-jitsu guy.
Okay.
And so during the fight, he was apparently just mouthing off to Khabib the whole fucking time, to where when he submitted Conor McGregor, he was like, "All right, you're fucking next."
So
he's so that's the guy that that Khabib went after.
Oh, Khabib connected too.
Yeah, Dylan Dennis.
They showed like a slow-mo image of it.
Yeah.
He didn't get knocked out or anything, but what caused dudes started hopping into the octagon to attack Conor.
Those are Khabib's dudes, yeah.
So this was, now it's seeming like you had a premeditated event where Conor and his crew attacked Khabib's bus, and then after Khabib beat Conor in the octagon in a sanctioned UFC match, after the fact, Khabib flies off the handle, and an orchestrated, premeditated attack occurs inside the octagon. Is that allegedly what it seems like?
Yeah.
And what happened? I think some money got held back, and nobody went to jail, nobody went to prison, nobody.
Thankfully, but I mean, you hear at first I was like, I was Team Khabib this whole way, right? Mm-hmm. And it's satisfying to hear Khabib beating the shit out of Conor. Like, he's like there and he's like, let's talk now.
Yeah,
let's talk now.
He beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then after like the round was over and he's like, let's talk now. And he's like, it's only business. Yeah. It's only business. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, you done attacked this dude for his family, for his religion, for his manager, for his manager's background shit.
Yeah.
And now it's only business? This is where it gets to. Like, this is where it boils down to, is to the fight, the actual fucking fight. And now you're like, it's just business? Come on, man. We're all watching, bro. Come on, man.
But isn't this what is known from Conor? Now, I'm not saying it's not shitty of Conor, but isn't that what is known of him? Don't we all understand that's how he markets a fight? And maybe it is bigger for Khabib. Maybe it is. It seems to be. But at the same time, you can't have your homeboys, and same for Conor. Your two camps. Yeah. You can't go attack each other outside of the octagon. Yeah. Now that's when it becomes criminal.
I agree.
Now, if you want to go ahead and go to the brink of killing each other in the octagon, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you potentially put in harm, Rose, this other dude, I'm a little partial to Rose. If you put this other homeboy losing his potential ability to create a living and put food on the table for his family, that is criminal.
I agree.
And for Khabib, for his boys to hop into the octagon afterwards and attack a half-hearted Conor McGregor, which they put some licks on him too.
Oh yeah, he definitely got a lick or two in there as well too.
But the point is that it should have never happened. It will never happen again.
No,
definitely. It will never happen again. No. But man, UFC make that money.
Yes, for sure. That's what sells. But you got to remember, I guess, emotions are running. I had different opinions about it. It's like emotions are running high and all of that shit. But dude, you cannot let that, Dana White, you cannot let that happen. You know what I'm saying? So then I ask you, is anything off limits during promotion? Because in my opinion, no. But then you have this guy that's I feel like he's fed up, and he's the guy that's more quiet. He's like, I'm gonna handle it in the octagon, in Khabib. But then he just, he popped off. And it's at what point?
As soon as he secured victory, he went to go rape and pillage. Not rape. I shouldn't say that. But he went to go pillage.
Yeah,
it's the Mongolian bloodline, dude. He secured the victory, and he's like, now we pillage, and that's what he did. And his homeboys rode with him. Now, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but that's what happened. Now,
and what's crazy is that Khabib is known as one of the most humble guys in the UFC.
But what's the breaking point?
Exactly.
Like you said, what's off limits? And in my opinion, women and children are off limits, unless you're a female fighter. But women and children are they're you cannot talk about another man's mother or spouse or child. You can't do that.
Joe Sundin, he was talking about Tito Ortiz.
Hey man, I get it. I get it.
What's her name? Jen Jameson?
Yeah, but that's a little different. I mean, I think that's she.
Did you hear that quote he said?
Yeah, he wasn't talking about Tito's children. He was talking about the mother of Tito's children. That's different.
And her choice of professions.
I mean, good Lord.
Yeah, but so what did you think about it all?
It was extremely exciting to see it all happen. But then when you come down off of the dopamine that gets dumped out and watching everything.
Isn't that no need to interrupt, but isn't that crazy how sometimes I feel like we're gladiators here and we're like, yes.
We're not gladiators. We're the spectators.
Spectators.
But that's primal. That's why it's so fascinating when we see two humans go into this organized event to potentially take each other's lives.
That's why they used to have the gladiator intro in the UFC. I wish they would bring that back sometimes,
Really?
where like it would be like they're like sharpening their shit.
It's not you can't sell that. It's not marketable.
Yeah, true.
But afterwards, I was like, I need more information. I need more information. I need more information. And then when I finally settled on it, I was like, Conor and his team was wrong in the beginning, and Khabib and his team were wrong at the end. But the glory in the middle was perfect. Yeah. It was a perfect storm.
Yeah, UFC has, in my opinion, has done a great job of handling the matter. You know, like when they show like highlights, they obviously don't show that side. It's just it's pretty unfortunate that that's when Khabib won the title. He beat McGregor, right, which was
the biggest star.
Yeah, he was. He's almost. Yeah, he was a big star, and he didn't get his ceremonial belt strapped on him by Dana White. They didn't have like the crowning of the champion or nothing like that because of the events that.
Well, he didn't deserve it in that instance. He took it away from himself.
Agreed.
By acting that way.
Agreed.
So yeah, he got his belt. He got to put on his hat. Didn't he defend the belt once though?
He defended it against
Gaethje.
Yes, he defended against Gaethje.
So he did have the strap wrapped around him once.
But I mean, that moment where you're like,
he chose to retire.
Guys, yeah.
He could have Conor again.
Yeah.
They could run it back. He could have GSP.
But I mean, according to him, he's used to having his father in his corner. His father
totally
passed
understand.
away.
Yeah, totally understandable.
And all of that. But it's just like, I mean, you like to hear the story of the humble guy. At least I do. You got the humble. Whatever. You got. Do you
believe that?
What?
Do you believe there's a humble person who is competing at the highest level of their industry?
Khabib is that man?
He is not. He is not
compared to Conor McGregor.
No, sir. He is only that way in the public light. That man is a cold-blooded killer.
Okay, well then, how would you translate that? Because Khabib,
it's business for Conor.
Okay,
it's a lifestyle for Khabib.
Yeah, but you see Khabib talking mess or whatever. That's out of his character. That's not him. That's not who he truly is. Conor, it seems like it just flows off of his sleeve.
It was easy. It's easy for Khabib to talk in matches whenever he's dominating an opponent. It wasn't the first time. It was not the first time he talked shit to Conor. He talked shit to other opponents.
No, in the octagon. And I think it was what's his name? Dang it. He's like, you must give up.
Yes.
I must be, but it's
I must be champion.
Yeah, but you're doing work. You're in business.
Right.
That's why. That's like before the fight. It's like la 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 la. But when you're in there, it's like that's why he's like, let's talk now.
That is is who Khabib is. The person you see on the panel, that is an actor. That's not, in my opinion. That is not Khabib Nurmagomedov.
But I mean, what better time to talk mess when you're walking your walk while you're talking your talk?
As an individual who understands theology, Khabib is a conformist to his religion of Islam. And in Islam, you are taught to submit. That's the whole point of Islam. You are to submit. He submits and is reverent in his religion. I believe that's why he carries himself that way during his daily life. But when it's time for him to become a killer, he's a different human being.
True. I mean, I love it, dude. I love it. It's like, dude, don't talk like you're not gonna catch him talking mess when he's on his back. Like, oh, you caught, like kind of like Nate, like, oh yeah, you caught me, man. You're not gonna see that from Khabib. It's like, come on, bitch. You're talking shit. What's up, motherfucker? Come on.
I think the common ground where we're gonna land on together is don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
True.
I think that kind of that fits with Khabib, that fits with Nate, that fits with these killers.
Yeah. I mean, McGregor, he was like, yeah, he was shitting himself on that bus when I attacked it and blah, 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 and he's able to say that because he got a slap on the wrist for that. But it's like, you don't see Khabib being like, yeah, you shit yourself when I fucking landed that fucking overhand right on your fucking ass, knocked you on the ground, got your back, and so just visit like, dude, trust me, I would do the same.
See, I believe that the ethos of MMA for Khabib is his lifestyle. For McGregor, it's the celebrity. That is what his lifestyle is.
For sure.
For him, he wants to be an icon. And for Khabib, he wants to be a champion.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. It's like, yeah, do you see Khabib rolling around in a Bentley with his shirt off, with silk Versace pants? No. He's probably in the G-Wagon surrounded by, some heavily armed countrymen. Because I don't know the dynamics over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they're just countrymen.
No.
But for Conor, he wants to roll around in the glitz and the glam. But remember, these two men came from shit.
True.
Literally shit.
It when you look at it from that perspective, it's good to see. It's great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the two dynamics. I mean, one moves the needle, one doesn't. That's really plain and simple.
But Khabib
dominates.
is the champion.
Dominates.
Yeah. It is a different level.
Yeah. Because you got Conor here, coming off a loss, and he's gonna go sell a badass fucking pay-per-view July 10th. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's gonna buy it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be there.
A lot of people are gonna buy it.
Might be here. Shit.
A lot of people will buy it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right, man. What are we leaving the people with? We went a little long.
Yeah. Go watch Dark Side tomorrow, man.
What are y'all talking about tomorrow? We got
a little update on the PS5 giveaway, and yeah, you don't want to miss. Yeah. For sure.
Don't want to miss. Okay. All right. Any topics you're giving away yet?
Nope.
Not giving away any talk. Got to tune in to find out.
Tune in to find out.
Are y'all taking calls? Y'all were supposed to take calls last week. Honestly, you're not taking any calls.
Everybody gets cold feet. Nobody wants to call in.
Take this job and shove it on. Ain't working here no more.
What's that dude's name?
That's David Allen Coach.
Yeah, David Allen
DAC.
You can take this job and shove it.
See, we're going to get you on that country road every now and then. It may be outlaw country, but we'll get you on that country road. Then I might hear you singing old Willie Nelson. On the road again. I just can't wait to get back on the road again. I don't know the rest.
Fuck no.
Yeah, you will. Once you be going to those football games and be like, on the road again. I just can't wait to get back on the road. As long as you got
me some food back there.
Shit, you're driving. What are you talking about?
I'm going to have to renegotiate my contract.
Hey, we'll feed you. We're going to feed you before the game and after the game. We'll give you a little gas money.
Yeah.
You get a little jingle in your pocket. Got a little jingle.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all watching. If y'all like the show, tell a friend. I think they'll like it too.
Smash that fucking like button.
Like and subscribe. I don't know. I gotta tell people. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, leave us a nasty comment. Somebody did the other day. We love it. I like it. I'll put
was it nasty?
It was misinformed.
Oh, okay.
Ill-informed, I should say. Travis Bush, where you at, Travis? He ain't at Seguin, Jack. He's at Canyon.
Transferred?
No, he's the head coach. He got a better job.
Okay.
Better job. Take this job and boom, 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 boom. That's not how it goes, but we'll see y'all Thursday. We're out.